Hands up, hearts open, wide as the sky. We lift you high, we lift you high. Hands up, hearts open, wide as the sky. God, we lift your name high. Hands up, hands up. Good morning. Hello. Maybe it's afternoon or maybe it is good evening. Hey, y'all. Hey, I just wanted to quickly try to do this quickly without crying. I was on my way to work and I was listening to the replay of my church 11:30 service. I was serving in the nursery, so I didn't get to watch it live, but I totally was listening and I heard it through the doors. And so I was too excited to catch the replay. But anyway, Bishop said that, and I know that a lot of us feel this way, but he was just talking about how, you know, I'm just going to say it. He didn't say this, but he said something close to it. That I'm one of God's favorites. I'm going to say I'm one of. I want to say that I am his favorite. But I'm just one of his favorites because I know other people feel the same. I want to encourage someone today, especially those of you who may not believe in God. You may not, you may have at one point, but then something happened and now you don't. You hearing other things and this and that. Well, I'm just wanting to share my faith, and I can because this is my platform. Yay! And I want to do it. I want to use my platform to encourage, right? So anyway, I believe in God, and I trust Him, and I have more than a million and one reasons why. But today's reason, quickly, is I was, my husband had to work out of town this weekend, and so long story short, I didn't talk to him all day. After he left early Sunday morning, I didn't talk to him all day. And so by, around 6 o'clock or so, because I was actually kind of had a full schedule yesterday. So, but when everything calmed and cooled down, around 6 o'clock, I reached out, call him and see how he was doing. No answer. I had my daughter call a little bit, probably maybe an hour or so after that. No answer. Maybe 2 hours later, because, sometimes, he might have left his phone in the car or the truck or whatever, giving him benefit of the doubt. Maybe battery died. So, texted him. Still no answer. So, my next thing is, and let's not get it twisted. Yes, I was like, okay, now what's going on? I mean, I just gave him a shout out on social media, you know what I'm saying? So spiritually, I'm like, what is this attack here? Yeah, my mind went right there, you know. But so my first response should have been to pray, and some of you may be like, oh, no big deal, he's out of town here. No, we talk. We did not talk all day, you know what I'm saying? So, no, that was not the norm. So I was like, okay, Lord, what is going on here? I finally said that. That should have been my first response, but I was doing all this worrying and all these scenarios going in my head. And so that's a whole message right there. Cast down every wicked imagination. We're supposed to do that. Don't let any of that enter in. But I did. But I finally came to my senses and literally prayed. Before that, I called the client. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, I called the client. Client didn't answer. Texted the client. Client did not answer the text. So I'm like, now what has this client done did to my... I'm watching too much TV. Has this client... How this client done sabotaged my husband? I'm just keeping it real. Like, all these kind of things going through my mind, okay? And so I prayed finally. I literally was tired from a long day, a full day, but I laid down on my bed and I prayed and cried out to God, like, okay, Lord, now, you know, where's my husband? You know, I pray that you cover him and keeping him safe, and you know, no weapon formed against him prosper. You know, he's covered, he's safe. You know, Lord, where is he? You know, I literally asked him, where is he? You know, just reveal it to me. What is he doing? What's going on? And that's how I was telling my um, School of Wisdom, aka Sunday school students, that when we talking to God, it can be quick, sometimes it can be long. You know, there's so many different types of prayer. And so as soon, and I'm not telling any lies, get some of the sun, as soon as I finished my prayer, as soon as I said amen, my phone rings. So this is why I say I'm one of God's favorites. I'm actually his favorite. But anyway, I'm one of God's favorites because as soon as he just like, okay, I don't want my, and this is what Bishop was saying. When he hears his name, and that's why we don't take the Lord's name in vain, students. I have to tell my students this all the time. That's why we don't call God's name in vain, because he literally, when he hears his name, he's ready to see what needs to be done, to hear what we have to say. And so, I mean, literally, my husband called right after that. Right after I said amen. God was like, let me help my baby. She's tired. She's ready to go to sleep. I need her to have peaceful sleep tonight. And, you know, because she got to get up in the morning, go to work, and be ready for these students. So he just said, you know, let me touch his heart and tell him to have him call her. So, yes, his phone had died. Okay. He'd been working all day. His phone died. He didn't plug it in advance or whatever the case. He just, you know, his phone died. So that's why he didn't answer my calls. You know, I don't know when it died, but that's why he didn't call me. But anyway, my point is, don't give up on God. And yes, prayer does work. Yes, it does. And I'm not trying to throw no shade, but I'm going to say this. It's not the energy, and it's not the universe, and it's not Chat GPT, even though I use it. That's not where your answers to your prayers is going to come. All right? I hate to have to tell you, but I will. And I'm saying all this in love. I just want to encourage you. Let your first response be to pray. So you can, you know, erase the time, the wasted time on worrying. Because Lord knows. But anyway, we'll talk more about that later. And I was told I need to do some podcasts, so I probably will. But until then, I'm going to do these. Well, this was supposed to be short, but it's 8-minute video. But trust God. Give him another chance, another opportunity. Okay? Give him another opportunity to show you how powerful he is and what he can do. All right? Because he's an all-knowing and a loving God. Trust. Love you. And you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, to include pray.